The clock is ticking and the world is watching. Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most influential figures in entertainment, is about to face the trial of a lifetime. This isn't just another courtroom drama, it's a battle that could redefine Hollywood's approach to accountability. What evidence do prosecutors have? Who are the key witnesses? And will high-profile celebrities like Jay-Z take the stand or plead the fifth? The stakes couldn't be higher. Prosecutors are coming armed with damning evidence, recorded calls, explosive testimonies, and even challenges to NDAs that could break open a culture of silence. Meanwhile, Diddy's defense team is scrambling to protect his legacy, fighting claims of coercion, manipulation, and control. But it's not just Diddy's future on the line. This trial could reshape how we hold the elite accountable and shine a light on the darker corners of the entertainment industry. Whether you're here for the courtroom drama, the celebrity intrigue, or the potential for a landmark verdict, stay tuned. We're breaking down everything you need to know about this high-stakes trial and what it means for Diddy, Hollywood, and beyond.
Let's continue our attention to a major headline taking place in New York City and the pre-trial hearing continuing on in this Sean Diddy Combs case. A pre-trial hearing taking place some 138 days before trial. Let's be joined right now here on the ground in New York by Fox 5's Lisa Evers. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. What can you tell us about what took place inside that courtroom today?
Well, Andy, everything so far is going very smoothly, but you can be sure that's going to change in the months ahead as they get close to that May trial date. But Sean Diddy Combs got a break today from the dismal lockdown atmosphere of the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn by appearing here in federal court for this pretrial hearing in his federal sex trafficking RICO case. Now, he won't be going home for the holidays. He's been denied bail 3 times. That didn't stop him from hugging every single member of his legal team. Now, let me show you some of the video from today. His son, Christian Combs, who he's very close to and actually...
The stakes. Why this trial is a turning point. Sean Diddy Combs, once a towering figure in the entertainment industry, now stands at the center of a legal storm that could redefine how Hollywood handles allegations against its elite. This trial is not just another celebrity court drama, it's a test of accountability for those who have historically operated above the law. For decades, Diddy has built an empire, but now that empire is under scrutiny like never before. Public anticipation is at an all-time high, with debates raging on social media, in newsrooms, and around dinner tables. The courtroom proceedings are expected to attract unparalleled attention, serving as a referendum on whether fame and fortune can shield someone from consequences. The media frenzy surrounding the case ensures every detail will be dissected, shaping public perception of Diddy and those in his circle.
Of Diddy beating Cassie Ventura in the hotel hallway, images that many say are impossible to unsee or forget. That video is pivotal to prosecutors who are trying to portray Diddy as a violent man capable of running this sex trafficking enterprise. It presents a challenge for his defense team, too. Here's what legal commentator and criminal defense attorney Philip Hamilton had to say on the subject. He is not connected with a particular case. Here's his comment.
And if at the end of the day, they don't like your client, maybe they're not listening to your defense because their minds have already been made up. So the defense is certainly going to have to jump the PR hurdle here in order to be able to effectuate what it is that Diddy wants, which is a win. And that in many respects is going to take a lot of energy out of them. But with the defense team that he's put together, I don't have any doubt that they have the competency and the ability to fight at the highest of levels for him.
And he does, Andy, have a very high-powered legal defense team, 5 people in court every single time that we're seeing them, many more behind the scenes.
Prosecutors view this case as a chance to set a precedent. They aim to demonstrate that even the most powerful individuals in Hollywood are not immune to accountability. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team faces the daunting task of protecting his reputation and empire. For other celebrities, the trial is a warning shot, underscoring that their own behaviors may no longer escape scrutiny. Prosecution's arsenal, evidence to be presented. The prosecution has meticulously prepared a mountain of evidence, aiming to expose a pattern of coercion and misconduct. Among the most damning items are recorded phone calls, reportedly capturing Diddy's attempts to manipulate witnesses and shape their testimonies. These recordings, if authentic, will serve as key pillars of the prosecution's case.
Right? You walk into this extremely lavish lifestyle, right? It's like a music video, it's like a movie. Everything is it just looks like $1 million, right? It just is beautiful. There's champagne, there's beautiful women, there's beautiful men, there's the architecture of the building is just like, wow. Like, you're just like, oh my, you're just in awe of it all, right? Behind all of this is the craziness as well. So you're experiencing both sides. Don't get me wrong, I had a good time up until certain points of like each event and stuff. Because it is so amazing, and you do get to be in like, for example, you're right next to somebody you used to watch on television. Like, you're right there going, oh my God, like, this is, you know, and you're like, this is insane. So you are in literal, I could just touch them if I wanted to. That's how close I was to these household names, and we were always amongst this kind of, you know, people. We as models and as new talent, we were amongst these people who are very well established. And so there is an appeal to that. There is a feeling that you feel, wow, I'm accepted. I'm being I don't know, you feel like you're one of the people, you're one of the crew, you know, you're one of the crowd of fabulous people that you had imagined to be a part of.
Victim testimonies promise to bring harrowing, first-hand accounts of abuse and intimidation to the courtroom. These testimonies, corroborated by witness statements from insiders such as former employees and associates, could paint a vivid picture of the allegations against Diddy. Collectively, they aim to reveal a culture of control and silence that prosecutors say Diddy orchestrated. The digital trail is another powerful component of the prosecution's strategy. Emails, messages, and contracts will be used to demonstrate how Diddy leveraged NDAs and other legal tools to suppress evidence and silence accusers. These documents may reveal a calculated effort to protect his public image at the expense of truth and justice. The prosecution's strategy, how they'll build their case. To establish their case, prosecutors will focus on creating a pattern of behavior that highlights Diddy's alleged misconduct over time. By tying past allegations to the current charges, they'll argue that these incidents were not isolated, but part of a systemic abuse of power. The narrative will aim to show that Diddy's influence allowed him to manipulate and intimidate those around him. A significant part of their approach will involve illustrating the power dynamics at play. They'll emphasize how Diddy used his wealth and position to exploit vulnerable individuals, ensuring compliance through coercion and fear. This strategy will be supported by witness testimonies and digital evidence, showing the lengths he allegedly went to maintain control. Prosecutors will also work to reveal instances of witness coercion. If they can provide compelling evidence that victims or insiders were threatened or manipulated, it could sway the jury significantly. By leveraging testimony from industry insiders, the prosecution aims to pull back the curtain on a culture of secrecy and abuse within Diddy's orbit. The defense's challenges, Diddy's legal team under pressure. Diddy's defense team faces a monumental challenge, protecting their client's legacy while dismantling the prosecution's case. They'll likely argue that the allegations stem from opportunistic motives, painting Diddy as a victim of media bias and false accusations. This narrative, however, must withstand intense scrutiny from both the court and the public. A core strategy for the defense will be to weaken the credibility of witnesses. By highlighting inconsistencies or questioning their motives, the defense will aim to create doubt about the veracity of their claims. However, this tactic risks alienating the jury, especially if the witnesses appear genuine and emotionally affected.
I just want to focus on that also. It is not specific just to him. It's about individuals in the entertainment industry using their power and abusing their power for the next generation, the younger talent.
So that was Precious Muir sharing her story with me.
Yeah, she sat down with NBC News over the weekend and told her story. Now, she was still anonymized in the interview, but we were able to hear from her for the first time, and she shared a little bit more details about that night. That eventually she wound up having to admit that there were some mistakes that she's made in the retelling or some of the details that she gave.
Some of those inconsistencies are saying that people were there who weren't there, or who can prove that they were in another place. But also NBC conducted their own sort of corroboration or verification of her account and spoke to members of her family. What happened there?
So NBC spoke with her dad. Now she says that her dad was the one who she called in the middle of the night after she ran away from this party and called him from a gas station to come pick her up. Now she lived in a part of New York that's 5 hours away. So she says that she called him. He drove through the night to pick her up before, dawn, while it was still dark out, to bring her back home. NBC spoke to her dad and he said, I would have remembered that. I don't remember that. He acknowledges that he might have had, a busy time period in his life then, but he said he would have remembered.
The defense will also have to navigate the influence of media coverage. With public opinion already swaying against Diddy, his legal team must find ways to counteract the negative narrative while avoiding any missteps that could further harm his image. Balancing these competing priorities will be critical to their strategy. Key witnesses. Who will take the stand? The trial is set to feature a roster of key witnesses whose testimonies could make or break the case. Victims who have come forward with allegations against Diddy will provide the most emotionally impactful testimonies. Their accounts will form the backbone of the prosecution's case, highlighting the alleged patterns of abuse and control. Former bodyguard Gene Deal is expected to provide insider insights, drawing from his time working closely with Diddy. His allegations about the infamous freak-off parties could add another layer of credibility to the claims of misconduct. Similarly, Jaguar Wright, a vocal critic of industry practices, may testify about the broader culture of exploitation in Hollywood.
Diddy looking at that evidence on a laptop prosecutors gave him that he can look at and have access to in the jail. The prosecution will most likely be allowed to present that horrific video we all saw of Diddy beating Cassie Ventura in the hotel hallway. Images that many say are impossible to unsee or forget. That video is pivotal to prosecutors who are trying to portray Diddy as a violent man capable of running this sex trafficking enterprise. It presents a challenge for his defense team too. Here's what legal commentator and criminal defense attorney Philip Hamilton had to say on the subject. He is not connected with a particular case. Here's his comment.
Thanks so much for being with us. This is Sean Combs' third try to get out on bail. Do you think he has a better chance this time around?
So he may, Bar. It's good to be with you, and here's why. You heard Elizabeth reference the issue of the recording, and here's why it's significant in terms of its manipulation. Just to reset, the critical to his denial on bail were really two factors. The one factor related to him being a danger to the community, the other factor being how he would potentially obstruct witnesses. Now, critical in the prosecutor's arguments at those previous hearings was the fact that there's this tape that everyone has seen, and they said, prosecutors did, that tape was in the context of a freak-off. It was in the context of sex trafficking. It was in the context of him being violent as it related to that count in the indictment against Miss Ventura, right, who's referred to as victim one. But here now comes the defense saying, hey, by the way, the prosecution has misled you, court. This had nothing to do with a freak-off, as is alleged, which were the parties that he was allegedly having, that is P. Diddy, with all of these instances going on with coerced sexual activity, etc., had nothing to do with that. It also had nothing to do with sex trafficking. This was a domestic dispute. Now, it doesn't make the violence in the tape, Boris, any more tenable, right? Violence is violence. It shouldn't have happened, but it gives it context. Now, when you get down to the manipulation of the tape, the reordering of the tape, did you mislead the court?
Other potential witnesses include ex-employees and high-profile celebrities like Jay-Z. While their testimonies may vary in significance, they collectively have the potential to provide a comprehensive view of the allegations and the environment that enabled them. Will they take the fifth? Celebrity witnesses on trial. One of the trial's most intriguing elements is the possibility of celebrity witnesses invoking the Fifth Amendment. Figures like Jay-Z, Usher, and Justin Bieber, who have been linked to events under scrutiny, may face subpoenas. Their decision to testify or not could have significant legal and public relations implications. Invoking the Fifth could shield these witnesses from self-incrimination, but may also cast suspicion on their involvement. For the prosecution, such actions could be used to imply guilt by association, adding weight to their narrative. speculative. Conversely, cooperation could expose them to intense scrutiny and potential fallout.
Is that prosecutors, they claim that they submitted a version of that video that our team released. Now, we have not seen that alleged video that prosecutors submitted to the court for these bail proceedings. We don't know what was in them, but Combs' team is saying it's edited, that they left out some of the material, that it's out of order, and they are taking issue with that. Now, I want to read you part of what Combs' team said in that filing, Brianna. They say, quote, "The video is not evidence of a coerced freak-off and sex trafficking, but rather a sad glimpse into a decade-long consensual relationship between Mr. Combs and Ventura." So they are categorizing this as a sad moment within a consensual relationship. I think what you saw, Brianna, what I saw, what the world has seen now, is that video depicts a horrific violent attack against a woman. Now, we do not know what happened behind closed doors. The footage that we have seen occurs in the hallway of that hotel room. But what happens in the hallway of that hotel room, according to the footage that our team obtained and released earlier this year, again, is Combs dragging Ventura.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. And of course, I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case, we're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. But the names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you.
For these high-profile figures, the stakes are immense. Their testimonies or silence will be dissected by the public, potentially impacting their careers and reputations. How they navigate this high-stakes situation will be closely watched by fans and critics alike. Industry dynamics, everyone pointing fingers. The trial is likely to expose deep divisions within Hollywood as individuals seek to distance themselves from Diddy. This blame game could see celebrities and insiders turning on one another, creating a spectacle of mutual accusations and shifting allegiances. For prosecutors, these conflicting narratives could serve as a tool to unravel the defense's strategy. By highlighting inconsistencies and contradictions, they can paint a picture of chaos and complicity within Diddy's circle. This dynamic could prove particularly effective in undermining the defense's case. The public's reaction to this infighting will also play a crucial role. Fans and critics will weigh the sincerity of those pointing fingers, potentially shaping the trial's broader narrative and influencing its outcome. Cross-examination drama, breaking down witnesses. Cross-examinations are expected to be among the trial's most dramatic moments. The prosecution will aim to dismantle the credibility of defense witnesses through sharp, targeted questioning. Any inconsistencies or contradictions could be used to weaken their impact and bolster the prosecution's case.
Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions raided by SWAT teams. His sons, Justin and King, in handcuffs in their own yard. Homeland Security tells ET the bi-coastal operation is part of an ongoing investigation.
More money, more problems.
We don't know if the embattled music mogul was home during either raid. ET's reached out to Diddy's reps for comment. Meanwhile, a police presence swarming his high-end Beverly Hills neighborhood. Officers going room to room, carrying zip ties and serious firepower. In the driveway, law enforcement vehicles parking next to, we assume, Diddy's luxury cars. Then, of course, his two sons, 30-year-old Justin and 25-year-old King. At one point, they seem to be sharing a laugh. It's also worth noting, Homeland Security tackles sex trafficking crimes, something Diddy was accused of in a lawsuit by his ex Cassie back in November.
The term you, as in the person signing, shall include you, your estate, each corporation or business entity which you have ownership or beneficial interest in, and any all person entities owned or controlled by you, businesses, affiliates, employees, officers, directors, managers, accountants, agents, all your respective heirs, like people, kids, etc., executors, representatives, administrators, employees, licensed successors. It's like anybody who could ever be with you, speak for you, family, friend, doesn't matter. They have now all signed this NDA with you. Wild. For good and valuable consideration, collectively consideration, the recipients efficiently of which hereby acknowledged you irrevocably agree as follows. Sean Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, artist, privacy is highly valued, and all efforts will be made to maintain confidentiality with respect to all information and other material of any kind. So what's that include? Without limitation, terms, conditions, existence of this agreement concerning or related to directly and indirectly artist, person, corporation, including without limitation, family members, relatives, past or present, fiancés, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, and business associates, artist parties, and each artist party, except for information or publicly made intentionally by artists, by Diddy, you hereby irrevocably agree that you shall not at any time use or disclose directly or indirectly to anyone any of the following information, any information acquired by you in any manner or by any medium or means whatsoever at any time, past, present, or future, which concerns or in any way relates to artist, any artist party, or any artist business activities, entertainment activities, financial affairs, and or personal life. And all such information shall be deemed confidential, private, secret, and sensitive, and kept by you as confidential unless artist otherwise advises you in writing by his sole discretion.
The defense, meanwhile, will employ similar tactics to undermine the prosecution's key witnesses. Their goal will be to expose any doubts about the allegations, using cross-examinations to sow uncertainty in the minds of the jury. However, this approach carries risks, particularly if the witnesses appear steadfast and credible. The emotional weight of these moments cannot be overstated. Witness breakdowns, surprise revelations, and unexpected testimony could become pivotal moments, shaping the jury's perception and influencing the trial's outcome. NDAs and gag orders, breaking the walls of silence. NDAs and gag orders have long been used to suppress accusations against powerful figures, and Diddy's trial is no exception. The prosecution will face the challenge of overcoming these legal barriers to uncover hidden evidence and testimony. If successful, this effort could empower witnesses who were previously silenced. Stories and documents once buried under NDAs may finally come to light, adding significant weight to the prosecution's case. However, this process is likely to be fraught with legal battles and resistance from the defense. The implications of breaking NDAs extend beyond this trial. A ruling against these agreements could set a precedent, challenging the entertainment industry's reliance on them to protect powerful individuals and suppress allegations. The verdict's potential impact. What's at stake for Diddy? The outcome of this trial will have far-reaching consequences for Diddy and the entertainment industry as a whole. A guilty verdict could effectively end Diddy's career, tarnishing his legacy and dismantling his empire. Even an acquittal may leave his reputation irreparably damaged, as the allegations will continue to cast a shadow over his achievements. Beyond the individual consequences for Diddy, this trial is poised to influence Hollywood's culture. It could encourage more victims to come forward, emboldened by the prospect of accountability for even the most powerful figures. At the same time, it may force the industry to reevaluate its practices and power dynamics.
Celebrities like Paris Hilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, and Chris Brown were among those photographed at the white parties, which ran from the years of 1990s to the 2000s. Jennifer Lopez and her management team is said to be on a high alert in case she gets dragged into any of the ongoing criminal investigations against Sean Diddy Combs, who was once, remember, her long-time boyfriend. Insiders have now claimed that the vocalist's team had discussions about whether she should make some public clarifications for being arrested with the rapper back on December 27th of 1999. And as the singer was dating Sean Diddy Combs during those days, she was taken into custody because a gun was found inside his car that they used to escape from the shooting scene. While Jennifer Lopez was let out shortly after, with cops clearing her of any involvement in the criminal activity, her romance partner and his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf-Jones, were charged with this crime.
To get to the latest on Combs, his children speaking out overnight, and another accuser has come forward. Aaron Katersky has been tracking all this for us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Michael. Combs and Sam Bankman-Fried are sharing a dormitory-style unit in protective custody in jail. Strange bedfellows in jail. And now his children this morning are speaking out. This morning, the children of Sean Diddy Combs are speaking out for the first time since their father's arrest last week. 4 of Combs' 7 children writing on Instagram, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out.
claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. A 60-page unverified book published earlier this month claimed to be the collection of diaries of Porter, who died at the age of 47 in 2018. The children, who don't mention their father's arrest in the statement, go on to write, "Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories."
Diddy's legacy hangs in the balance. This trial will not only define his future in music and business, but also serve as a litmus test for how society addresses allegations of abuse and misconduct against its elites. The endgame, how the trial might conclude. As the trial unfolds, its conclusion remains uncertain. Prosecutors are confident in their case, believing they have amassed enough evidence to secure a conviction. However, Diddy's defense team is equally determined, employing every strategy at their disposal to turn the tide in their favor. The possibility of surprises looms large. New evidence or bombshell revelations could emerge, swaying the jury and altering the trial's trajectory. These twists and turns will keep both sides on edge, making the outcome difficult to predict. The public's reaction to the verdict will be a critical barometer of societal attitudes toward power, privilege, and accountability. Regardless of the trial's outcome, its impact will resonate far beyond the courtroom, shaping conversations about justice and fairness in the entertainment industry and beyond.
This morning, embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars on charges that include sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, after a second judge overseeing his federal criminal case denied him bond once again.
The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot.
Outside the New York City courthouse, his lawyer defiant.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent, and we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The judge ruling the bail package presented by Combs' lawyer was insufficient, siding with prosecutors, who called Combs a threat to society, adding there is no condition that would assure that the rapper would not obstruct justice. A major topic of discussion ahead of the ruling, this troubled 2016 video that shows Combs brutally beating his then-girlfriend, singer Cassie, who prosecutors say was attempting to escape from one of Combs' so-called freak-offs, elaborated coerced sex parties that he often recorded.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Wow, what a deep dive into the intense courtroom drama awaiting Diddy. From the prosecution's arsenal of evidence to the potential celebrity testimonies, this trial has all the makings of a high-stakes thriller. Whether it's the battle over NDAs, the emotional cross-examinations, or the ripple effects this case might have across Hollywood, one thing is clear: this trial will leave a lasting mark. What do you think will happen? Will the prosecution's case hold up, or will Diddy's defense find a way to turn the tide? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We're reading everything you have to say. What a journey into the intense world of Diddy's trial. We've explored the stakes, the evidence, the witnesses, and the strategies that will make or break this case. From the possibility of celebrity testimonies to the battle over NDAs, it's clear this trial isn't just about Diddy. It's about accountability, power, and justice in an industry that's long avoided them. Now, it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think will happen? Will prosecutors succeed in dismantling Diddy's defense? Or will his legal team pull off a stunning victory? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.